So, basically, did any of you see the article that was out recently by the BBC that said final call to halt climate change catastrophe? It was out just like last week. No?
I saw something on the news though, like a lot of stuff on the news kind of recently.
Related to climate change, yeah. Yeah, it's everywhere in the media at the minute, and it seems to be increasingly so. It's like a global problem, obviously. Would any of you know? Well, basically in the article, so it was BBC, you know what I mean, mainstream news agenda, and the first thing that they recommended that people do, to impact like climate change positively, to reduce their impact or whatever. Would you be surprised to learn that the first thing that they recommended was to reduce your consumption of meat and dairy products?
I remember hearing that in the news.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty surprised. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah,
it is weird, and that's exactly what I'm at, because most people, it's not like there's a documentary, and I pass it on to people as much as possible. It's called Cowspiracy, the Sustainability Secret. And this guy basically contacts like massive, like global environmental organizations like Greenpeace and stuff, and he just looks into it, does the research, and realizes that animal agriculture is responsible for more greenhouse gases than all the transport industry combined, more ocean dead zones, like species extinction, habitat loss, and it's called the Sustainability Secret because the meat and dairy industries, like globally, have more money in the world than the oil industry. So Cowspiracy, because it's like it's apparent from watching the documentary that there does seem to be a conspiracy to keep that a secret, because if people learned how bad it was, like they would arguably not like buy these products, because they'd realize, fuck, this is really, really bad for the planet. And like basically I mean, there's things that we can all do to reduce our impact, but how do you guys feel about, like, say, like the BBC and even the Guardian did like I was reading an article by the Guardian last night, and they said it's the biggest analysis done to date, and it's something like 40,000 farms in 112 different countries, 90% of all the food that we eat, and they assessed that it was animal agriculture that's the biggest culprit. And like I just feel morally, like, do you guys know about veganism and stuff?
Yeah.
So basically that's what I see as a solution, like a much healthier alternative. The amount of land and the amount of water that is used to like grow plant-based protein and stuff is far less than animal products. No one gets a knife in the throat as well, and it's it's arguably far healthier, like, because animal products are full of like cholesterol and saturated fat and antibiotics and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just what I'm at. I'm just checking like what people's general consensus is about that, and sort of in light of that information, like, do you guys feel any sort of like moral obligation to maybe think about like dietary changes? Like, do you think you could ever be vegan, or do you see a change in society's attitudes towards it?
I remember on the news they were talking about, trying to encourage people to maybe cut down. They might maybe have a veggie day where they just eat plant-based foods. And I think it's so engraved. Most people, I'd say, right in saying it would eat meat.
Totally.
I'm the same.
Yeah, me too. I was as well.
And I think for that to be sort of widespread, I think it'd be hard to get people to change their opinions and be encouraged to change their diet like that. But I think it is something that I could definitely try. Start maybe once a week. Cutting down.
That's what it's all about. Just doing what you can. I just think that because they're talking about reducing. To follow that point to its logical end, to me it seems like it would make, like, if reducing it is good for the environment, then like surely to do away with it altogether is probably better. And I feel like when you look at the science, like, it proves that, but in reality how that plays out, you're saying about, it would be difficult to get everybody on board of it. And yeah, like, we're individuals, and we can only do what like we can do, and we can't affect we can't just make everyone see like what we want to see and be how we want to be. It's something we got to accept. So that's why I just took it upon myself, like, to go and talk to other individuals and to see, and like, you know, together, like, we can do something.
Yeah.
And like I've been a vegan for nearly 3 years, and I used to eat meat and dairy and all those products like every day of my life and love the taste of it. And I actually seen a guy give a lecture about it, and he talked about like the physiology of the human body and how like we're actually a lot more similar to herbivorous animals.
Yeah.
And then I seen a documentary. What the Health? Did you hear about that?
I think I have heard of it.
Yeah, that's all about how bad animal products are for your health. And then Cowspiracy is the environment. So it's a global picture. But yeah, I mean, I have like info cards with like those documentaries, and there's a little thing on it called Challenge 22, and it's a free vegan challenge for 22 days. It's done on Facebook Messenger, and you get like a mentor and a nutritionist and a dietitian.
Oh. So
So like they tell you like what you need to eat.
yeah, I think that's another thing. I think a lot of people maybe, you know, they don't know how to.
Yeah, yeah.
Diet as a vegan, maybe,
Totally.
You know, maybe it's hard to get the right nutrients. And
So
stuff.
true, man.
If there's a way of, you know, of someone helping someone and guiding them through that, it's probably.
Yeah, and it's free, and yeah, I mean, like for me it was the ethics. I seen animals just getting slaughtered, and I just thought they were so innocent and defenseless that like I liked the taste of meat, but I didn't like it that much that I liked it more than animals having a preference to not suffer and die.
Yeah, I got you.
But
I just think it's more up to like, obviously getting people to make an individual change is like, that'd be pretty hard to like just get everyone to do, because like whenever people talk about climate change and they say, oh yeah, people need to make a difference, I think the government need to make a bigger difference, because
Totally.
if they put in place things that like will make it more eco-friendly, that's better, because it's like kind of pushes it into us a wee bit. Like
yeah, I completely agree. It has to be a two-way street, like individuals and corporations. And I'm sure you guys know, like, corporations with their like financial investors and their money and shit, they don't really tend to listen to like individuals on a like corporate level. So but I feel like when there's enough people doing it, and people are making, because like what we spend our money shapes society a lot, you know, like in certain markets. So if we say, and like animal agriculture and meat and stuff, that only exists because of supply and demand. So if we stop buying, they will stop supplying. They'll stop supplying, and the demand will go down. And that's happening. Like, do you guys follow the Belfast Live page on Facebook? It's just like a news page, but I seen the other day that they said that Tesco's here have recently doubled their vegan products. So it's a real reflection on like people's purchasing. And I do like different forms of vegan activism and talk to people in the street like most weekends, and like constantly people are saying, oh yeah, like my friend's vegan, or like I've heard of that before, and like, you know, I've thought about this, and just people are at different stages of awareness or whatever. And yeah, that's all we can do, like you know, educate ourselves, make conscious, more ethical choices. But if I give you like a card, maybe Cowspiracy is on Netflix. It's free. It's fascinating, like what he uncovers. And then yeah, if I give you a card, like all I'm asking, just maybe look into it.
Yeah, no,
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
No
Respect. Thank you. That's the card. I'm a part of a group called VKind. You don't have to like the page. You can if you want. But Cowspiracy is on Netflix. I'd recommend that. Forks Over Knives is awesome. Earthlings is like, it's there's a newer version of Earthlings out. It's called Dominion now. It was made in Australia, but it's legal, standardised practices of farming all across the world. Like stuff that happens here too. So it may be a lot to consider, but I feel like food is a really big part of our lives, and it affects the world, and it affects us all. And with mainstream media catching on and saying like, you know, the first thing they're talking about is animal products to reduce climate change. Like I just feel like it's getting harder and harder to ignore. Like maybe you guys just heard of it and never really thought much of it, but a lot of, you know, I like to think that people aren't willfully choosing to be ignorant. They just, you know, and I like
just sort of afraid to make it.
Yeah, I think there's that social phobia of like being maybe vegan or something. Like the only way it's going to happen is if more and more people do it. And I promise you guys, like if you give the vegan challenge a go, like people that aren't vegan like think that the food's really bland and that we're just eating salads all day and shit. It's just not true. Like there's
been big steps.
Yeah, there's like vegan versions of a lot of things, but it was the best decision I've ever made. And like every person I meet that goes vegan says that and says, I just wish I'd done it sooner, because like, I don't know, I'm an animal lover, like, and at one point I just sort of was like, it doesn't make sense for me to pet a dog with one hand and to stick a fork into a chicken when the dog and the chicken have the same capacity to suffer. We're just told by society to like dogs and not chickens. And I just questioned that. Was like, it doesn't make sense. All animals want to be free from suffering, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's all I could do as one person, and I don't know, like, it's just, it's not, I have no like attachment to the outcome. It's just up to people what they do with the information. But thank you so much.
No,
what was your names?
Colin.
Colin. My name's Thomas.
Nice to meet you. I'm Robbie.
Robbie, nice to meet you. This is what I love, like meeting open-minded people who aren't really afraid to like challenge what they've been. You know what I mean?
I get that.
People,
I don't like people who are like really close-minded to me. They can't get through them.
yeah, like
The best way to change people's opinions is through discussion.
progressive discussion, like people.